Hello students, in this video we are going to see Dr. S. Radhakrishnan's Indian Women. This is our fourth prose in the unit 1. Let us see the brief introduction in Tamil. In this prose, Dr. Radhakrishnan இந்தியாவில் உள்ள பெண்களின் நிலையை பற்றியும் இந்திய பண்பாட்டில் பெண்களுக்குரிய தனி மரியாதையை பற்றியும் எடுத்துரைக்கின்றார். நாட்டின் முன்னேற்றத்தில் ஆண்களுக்கு நிகரான சம பங்கு பெண்களுக்கு இருப்பதை இக்கட்டுரையின் மூலம் விளக்குகின்றார். ஒரு சமுதாயத்தின் வளர்ச்சி பெண்களின் நிலையை அடிப்படையாக கொண்டே அமைகின்றது என்ற கருத்தை தெளிவாக வலியுறுத்தியுள்ளார். இந்த லெசனில் இவர் இதைத்தான் முக்கியமாக சொல்லியிருக்கிறாரு. அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஆணும் பெண்ணும் எப்படி இந்த சமுதாயத்தில் ஒரு வளர்ச்சிக்கு நிகரான சம பங்கு பெறுகிறார்கள் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. அப்புறம் சமுதாயத்தில் பெண்களின் நிலையை பற்றியும் இதில் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. தென் பெண்களின் பங்கு இந்த சமுதாயத்தில் என்னென்ன அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றியும் சொல்லியிருக்கிறாரு. தென் பெண்களின் உரிமைகள் என்னென்ன இந்த நாட்டில் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் மிக அழகாக இதில் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. அப்புறம் ஆண் பெண் உறவு முறை எப்படி இருக்க வேண்டும், எப்படி இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றியும் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. பிறகு பெண்களின் தனிச்சிறப்பு எது அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றியும் ரொம்ப அழகாக இந்த பாடத்தில் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. அப்புறம் அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் டாக்டர் ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் பெண்களின் சிறப்பை இக்கட்டுரையில் தெளிவாக விளக்குகின்றார். இந்திய பண்பாட்டில் பெண்களுக்கென்று ஒரு தனி மரியாதை உள்ளது. ராமகிருஷ்ணர், விவேகானந்தர் போன்ற துறவிகளும் கூட பெண்களுக்கென்று ஒரு தனி மரியாதையை தங்கள் போதனைகள் மூலம் வெளிப்படுத்தியுள்ளார்கள். சமுதாயத்தில் ஆன்மீகம் மற்றும் கலாச்சார வளர்ச்சி பெண்களின் நிலையை பொறுத்தே அமைந்துள்ளது என்பதை இவர்கள் மிக அருமையாக கூறியுள்ளார்கள். யுத்தம் செய்யும் பூமியில் கூட அமைதியை போதிப்பவர்கள் பெண்களே இன்றி வேறு எவரும் இல்லை என்று உறுதியாக கூறலாம் என்று டாக்டர் ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் இந்த லெசன் மூலிமா ரொம்ப அருமையாக சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. Now let us pass on to the lesson with the as usual with the author introduction. Dr. Radhakrishnan, he was born in the year 1888 and died at the year 1975, and he was one of the most distinguished men of modern India. From a humble beginning, he rose to hold the highest office in India. Because of his contribution to the cause of education, September 5th, his birthday, is celebrated as Teachers' Day in India. In Dr. Radhakrishnan, we see a rare combination of Indian tradition and scientific thinking. He reinterpreted Hindu philosophy and Hindu thinking in the context of modern scientific advancement. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan has made a deep study of other religions and other philosophies also. And this has enabled him to understand his faith in relation to other creeds and dogmas. Let us see about the lesson in a brief manner. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan has authored more than 24 of books. In all of them, he provides a masterly review of culture and philosophy, especially as obtaining in our land. With the inimitable felicity and vigor of style, he brings together diverse ideas, literary and political, social and economic, religious and cultural. He shows how these have made the nation that India is today. He has given us a compact study of our rich cultural heritage and religious legacy, which is as profound as it is meaningful and thorough. Whatever be the subject dealt with, there is an insistence in these pages on the need to live integrally. Religion and culture are but the milieu in which the spirit struggles and with itself to archive the inevitable. In this in this prose, Indian women, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan analyzes the causes of Indian women's backwardness and the need for her assert herself. He says that women are the great conversations of our culture, and Indian woman holds an honored place both in the home and in the social life. Manu assigns women as place of special honor in the home and in the society. Women are human beings and have as much right to her development as men have. Women cannot do something that men can. Their physiology prevents this. In ancient India, education of women was sadly neglected. Women lapsed into illiteracy and superstition. Sister Niveda's original name of Brahmacharya and was given the name Nivedita. Swami Vivekananda called Nivedita a lioness. According to Swami Vivekananda, India could not produces great women. The Ramakrishna movement fought for the liberation of women. Dr. Radhakrishnan conveys to us compact study of our rich cultural heritage, religious legacy, and the position of Indian women through his writings. Ramakrishna's respect for womanhood comes out in his dealing with his wife Sri Sharada Devi and other women. Ramakrishna accepted Lady Bhairavi Brahmini for his teacher. Marriage is the link that makes for continuity of the family tradition. The institution of marriage enables sensual love to be sublimated into selfless devotion to family and society. Sex life is not despised. Its importance for human development is recognized. It has been the tendency of man to use woman as an object of amusement and pleasure. Woman is asked to look upon man as the meaning and justification of her existence. The Oriental woman is not very different from other women in her innermost nature. She remains essentially feminine on account of her social and religious culture. The world over, women are devoted and obedient. Women bears the brunt of household work. She is essential, not the object of man's lust, but is the mother, the maker, the leader. Marriage without motherhood is incomplete. That is a very important point in our society. Indian culture allows women to become saints. Sri Sharada Devi is the embodiment of purity and simplicity. Women are the great conservations of our culture. So this is the brief introduction and the explanation of the prose. Let us see some of the topics with brief explanation. First, let us see women a respected member of the society. How? Indian women holds an honored place both in the home and in the social life. By this way, the Indian women respected one in the society. She is her husband's companion and his helpmate in all his activities, mistress of her household and a respected member of society. Manu is a woman, assigns women a place of special honor in the home and in society. He says, where women are honored, there the gods dwell. So that is this. So by this way, the author says how women are respected in the society. If she is respected in the home, she will be honored by in the home as a god's dwell. Next we see the Swami Vivekananda's views on the position of women. Some of Swami Ji's Western lady disciples lived in a small house on Bellur Math land for a while. Sister Nivedita was one of them. It was at this time that Margaret Noble took the vows of Brahmacharya and was given the name Nivedita. He wrote her that what was wanted was not a man but a woman and a real lioness to work for Indians. Women, especially Swamiji, and that India could not yet produce great women. She must borrow them from other nations. Her education, sincerity, purity, immense love, determination. Cut the mobile. Determination, excuse me. Her determination, all are taken place in the Indian society. Swamiji said that India could not yet produce great women. Her education, sincerity, purity, immense love, and determination, and above all, her Celtic blood made her just the woman wanted. If Swamiji complained that India could not yet produce great women, it was because of the degradation to which they were subjected in recent times. Next, let us see how Ramakrishna and Gandhi's views on the position of women. It is true that Ramakrishna advised renunciation of women and of wealth for his male devotees, but that was only in view of man's possible weakness with regard to the opposite sex, for he also advised his women devotees to renounce men and wealth. Ramakrishna's respect for womanhood came out in his dealing with his wife Sri Sarada Devi and other women. He accepted a lady Bhairavi Brahmini for his teacher. Woman is not innately wicked any more than man is. Gandhi engaged many women in the struggle for the political liberation of the country. Thus, he has helped in the emancipator of Indian women. Next, we see the institution of marriages. Marriage is the link that makes for continuity of the family tradition. The husband-wife axis is the pivot on which the whole society revolves. The institution of marriage enables sensual love to be submitted into selfless devotion to family and society. The principle of permanent partnership between husband and wife serves to rub off angularities in the individuals and enables the pair to work together harmoniously for the welfare of their own family and of society. And when we see the tendency of man towards the woman, it is the man is an actor on the stage of life. The term personality is derived from persona, a mask. The real being resides beneath of the mask, and all the struggles of life are to express the reality of the human reality of the behind the mask. It has been a tendency of man to use woman as an object of amusement and pleasure. Woman is asked to look upon man as the marriage and justification of her existence. This is in line with the well-known saying, he for God only, she for God in him. In childhood, a woman must live under her father's protection. In youth, under her husband's protection. And in the old age, under her son's protection. She does not deserve to be independent woman, as a member of the weaker sex cannot protect herself independently. She is always under the care of, under the protection of the male in their family. Yes. She remains essentially feminine on account of her social and religious culture. The world over, women are devoted and obedient. They dare to suffer when men would shrink. Women joins her husband in the daily religious ceremonies. For no husband can perform a sacrifice without her. She bears the brunt of household work. She is essentially not the object of man's lust, but is the mother, the maker, and the leader. The women are the great conservations of our culture. How? Dr. Radhakrishnan is explaining women, the great conservators of our culture. They adhere to the household ritual, cradle song, and popular poetry. A definite philosophy of life is bound up with these. Women are the missionaries of civilization. With their immense capacity for self-sacrifice, they are the unquestioned leaders in ahimsa. They will teach the arts of peace to the warring world. So this is the prose by Radhakrishnan by the Indian women. He has given a very good examples and very good explanation about the women in the society and how they are treated in the society and how they have some responsibilities in the society. So this is the prose by Radhakrishnan. Thank you. Thank you, Anil.